Welcome to Torah Today Ministries and a special teaching that I almost put in the Hebrew Key series, and I thought, well, maybe it should go in the Parsha Seasoning series, but I decided to park it here in the Special Teachings series. And I'm planning to include more teachings in this series and build it up more because I'm constantly coming across just random insights in the Word through my studies, and this is a good place to start recording those. But this particular study is called Salvation, Egypt, and Messiah's Return. And that may make you wonder what in the world is related between all of these. This sprang out of the study of this week's Torah portion, which is in the book of Shemot, the book of Exodus. And I happened to do a study on the word salvation, or the verb to save. And I found out that this word occurs for the first 2 times in the book of Exodus. But let's take a look at the Hebrew words first. At the top you see the word yasha, and this is the verb to save or to rescue, yasha. And below that is the noun form, Yeshua, which means salvation. Of course, this is also the name Jesus, or the name of our Messiah, Yeshua. But this helps explain the verse in Matthew 1:21, which says, "She will bear a son, and you shall call his name Salvation, for he will save his people from their sins." Or, as our translations put it, you shall call his name Yeshua, or Jesus, because he will Yoshea, and there's the word Yoshea, et amo machtotehem. He will save his people from their sins. So you can see the play on words. You see the noun form here, Yeshua, salvation, and here is the verb, Yoshea, he will save them. Now, this verb, save, yasha, is found for the first 2 times in the Bible, both times in Exodus. The first one in Exodus 2:17, and the second occurrence in Exodus 14:30. Now, let's give some context for this first occurrence. Exodus 2:17. Moses is 40 years old. He has fled from Pharaoh, fled from Egypt. He comes to the wilderness of Midian. He sees Jethro's daughters, though he does not know who they belong to at this point, but he sees them being heckled and just obstructed by some mean shepherds who drive the girls away so the men can water their own flocks first. And it says here in verse 17, the shepherds came and drove them away, but Moses stood up and yasha, saved them, and watered their flock. So at the well, Moses is not going to have any of this abuse of women, and he drives the shepherds away, and then he waters the flock of Jethro's daughter. And of course, as you read on further in the story, when they get home and tell their father, they say, "An Egyptian man saved us," because Moses is dressed and looks like an Egyptian. And later, Joseph marries Jethro's eldest daughter. Now, Exodus 14:30 is the next time we see the word save. And this is after, through Moses, 40 years later, God has led Israel out of Egypt. They have crossed the Red Sea. And it says there, thus Adonai Yasha. Adonai saved Israel that day from the hand of the Egyptians. And Israel saw the Egyptians dead on the seashore. Now, what's so special about these 2 occurrences, these first 2 occurrences of the verb yasha, to save? Well, as I pondered this a little bit, it occurred to me that the first occurrence aligns itself with the Messiah's first coming, and the second occurrence aligns itself with his hopefully soon return. Because in the first occurrence, you see Moses operating individually, just basically to save this small handful of girls, these sisters at the well. and he drives away the shepherds, and he saves these girls from their abuse, and he waters their flocks. It's a very small operation. And he's not recognized. He's thought to be an Egyptian, thought to be one of the enemy. But in the second time, you see a national salvation. We see all of Israel brought out of Egypt, along with a great Erev Rav, a great mixed multitude. They're brought across, the sea splits, they come across the other side of the Red Sea, and God closes up the waters over Egypt's military, and they are all drowned. And Israel looks down, they see the Egyptians dead on the seashore. There's been this incredible deliverance. And isn't this kind of like Yeshua's first coming, where he comes incognito? And even to this day, the Jewish people think of Yeshua and think he's really not one of ours. He doesn't really belong with the Jewish people, and he's even rejected. He's not recognized. It's kind of like in the end of book of Genesis, where Joseph's brothers come to him in Egypt, and he's ruling Egypt under Pharaoh. And they don't recognize him. They think also, like Jethro's daughters, that Joseph is an Egyptian. And yet he brings tremendous salvation. So we can put these side by side and look at them this way. On the left side, we see the first occurrence of Yasha in Exodus 2:17. It involves Moses. He's thought to be Egyptian. He brings individual rescue. And here he provides water, which brings life. And I believe this is a picture of Yeshua's first advent. But on the right, we see the second occurrence of the word Yasha in Exodus 14:30, again involving Moses. And this time, he's not incognito. They recognize who he is. And he comes and destroys Egypt's military. And he brings a national rescue. As when Messiah returns, he's going to destroy the enemy. There will be no more fear of the enemy. The enemy's power will be completely wiped out and taken away. And here, water equals death. I'm not quite sure what the connection is here. I do know that in the future, God is going to make a new heavens and a new earth where there is no more sea. But that's something to think about. Write to me and give me your insights about that. And a couple of other things. In both cases, there is an exit from Egypt. Moses, in the first case, has left Egypt. And in the second case, he again is leaving Egypt, but taking all of Israel, all of those who are following with them. And in both cases, and I find this very interesting, in both cases, the event is followed by a wedding. Because shortly after the event in Exodus 2, we read about Moses marrying Jethro's oldest daughter, Zipporah. And of course, when Messiah returns and he establishes his kingdom, there's going to be a grand wedding as he takes a bride, as described in the last 2 chapters of Revelation. So I don't think these parallels are at all accidental. But again, it just goes again to confirm to me that God knows the end from the beginning. And all through the Torah, we see these foreshadowings of Yeshua's coming. Not just his first coming, but also of his second. So anyways, I'd love to hear what further insights you have. So please email me at mail@TorahTodayMinistries.org. And if you'd like to print out these notes, please go to our website at TorahTodayMinistries.org. You can print them out as well as the notes for all of the other teachings you'll find there. So until next time, I wish you shalom and may God bless.
Thank you for joining us for today's teaching. If the work of Torah Today Ministries has touched your life, please consider making a donation or sponsoring an upcoming video. As a video sponsor, you'll have an exclusive opportunity to memorialize a family member, celebrate a special event, or simply support the ongoing creation of similar content. Your tax-deductible contribution helps ensure that our teachings continue to reach all who are longing for truth. Click the link or visit our website to learn more.
That's a good food for thought.